Hi, this video is going to be a reminder for myself because I know that I'm going to watch this video more times than anyone else. So this video is about a framework that it'll probably be a framework for my future videos for now. Because currently I think I need to remind myself there's a lot of things in life, and especially the world that we live in. And which I want to start with is that I have a notebook. I wrote a lot. Uh, which I want to start with is that society norms is now making us to think less, or basically, the world we live in is making us think less. I say that because you guys probably knew it. At least I know it. I can see it. Is that I rarely have time to think for myself, and I give an example is that I am constantly wearing earphones and constantly listening to something, whether it's podcast or music or random drama, and it is scary that I'm no longer the person that I was. I'm 27 now. 13 years ago, 10 years, more than 10 years ago, I'm no longer the person that I am. It's not the same person that I was 10 years ago, when I had all the time in the world to constantly think about things. I was most of the times outside, I was most of the time spending my time outside, not on purpose, but I lost my keys. I always lose my keys. I always lose my house keys, and I can't go into the house, so I'll just have to wait outside till my mom comes back, 5 hours. So I always just sit down under the sun and constantly think about things. There's no phones, I didn't have the privilege to look up Google or whatever. Everyone was doing something. I was just sitting there in front of my house, just thinking. Now I no longer have that. I'm no longer the same. I'm constantly having podcasts over my ears as I'm cycling, or as I'm cooking, as I'm something worse. There were times where I even shower with YouTube with YouTube playing. And maybe some of you can relate to me. Maybe you guys don't. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm making this video because the thing is, this is why it's a video to remind to myself, which is, first of all, I'm going to stop doing that. And second of all, I want to just spread the awareness is that is the world we currently live in, Corporate business is always selling us the convenience. It's not inherently a bad thing, but you have to understand, all this convenience that they're constantly selling to us is, it doesn't teach us to be comfortable at uncomfortable times. We used to be very comfortable, at uncomfortable times. Me sitting down for 5 hours in front of the house under the sun, that's definitely uncomfortable if I think back. But I was used to it. I learned how to spend my time, doing nothing, to be bored. I learned how to be bored easily. Of course, it's my fault, but it is what it is, right? I'm just saying this that you can apply to many parts of your life where back then you had the skills and you probably lost it now. It was back then, the times was very, very different. And I don't want to say that this is all the corporate business are at fault here. No, it's not really their fault, really. But we allow it to happen because we keep thinking that we need it. Corporate business will always sell us stuff that we think that we need it, because sometimes they're right. Some people need it, but not all of us, right? I'll give you an example. YouTube, I have YouTube Premium. YouTube Premium, it has giving us the choice, the option to actually download the videos or just have the videos playing on sleep mode. Back then you have to constantly turn it on, wasting our batteries, and we have to probably look at it, have to interact with it in order to phone, in order to experience the videos, right? But now you don't. You can just have it off, put it in your pocket, put in your bag, and as long as you wear earphones, you can hear it. You can listen to it. You no longer need to watch it. Maybe some of you guys are not even watching this video anymore. You just have it in the back of your ears. It's fine. That's fine by me. But I just want you to understand that this action is taking away the mental space that you're supposed to have. we normally already have, not most of the time we need that void. We need that mental space. We need that mental space to ourselves to allow us to think about things. They're not exactly the most useful. Those thoughts that we have are not the most useful. They're not optimal, but maybe for today. But in 1 year, 10 years, I'm pretty sure those random nonsense of your thoughts, it probably would have shaped your life for the better, because it all came from you. It came from you, it's original. And now you're constantly filled with content that's given by someone else. It's like constantly forcing on you, and which is I want to bring to the next part, which is the YouTubers, me included. I'm not special in this regard. Us YouTubers, we probably want to do content that we think that we like. It's something that means it is meaningful in our life, but it doesn't mean it's probably not meaningful to yours. And YouTube constantly will constantly feed you knowledge. Sometimes you feel like you're feeling smarter. Sometimes you feel like you're more aware of things, but sometimes YouTubers are constantly giving you drama. They're always giving you drama. Inherently what they're doing is they're just amplifying your emotions. They are dragging away your attention at things that they care, but you probably don't have to care, but they make it sound like you should. You should. They're not at fault. Sorry, these YouTubers, I don't think they are doing it with bad intention, but that is the effects of it. And I don't want to say this, like, I don't want to say stuff which is like don't watch them or anything. Instead, I want to give a message, which is like, do things with intention. Pick your own videos, which is probably the next part I wrote here, which is AI. Now, AI is a deep topic. I'm not making it deep for now, but we all know what AI is. We all know where our world is going. What is the direction that we're going with. I just want to give a context, is that AI it stands for artificial intelligence. So you have to understand, it is artificial, right? And the whole purpose of AI is to mimic the way how we think, so that we can scientifically study it, so that we can probably experiment with it. Normally, if I want to study humans, I probably have to chop a human brain out and study it and experiment with it. But immorally, that's not correct. So if it's a bot, I can do it. No one have to see it. No one's gonna judge me. It's just a robot. I'm just gonna mess with the artificial intelligence, right? That's the whole point. That's what AI is. That's what it's supposed to be. But we can make use of that, because if we can make AI, as I said, if we can make AI to mimic our minds, that's how. Sorry, I should have went with. AI is already approaching. AI is already approaching towards our way of thinking. I wrote here, I should follow that. AI is already approaching towards our way of thinking, and you probably see it from from YouTube or like Copilot or wherever. I don't know what ChatGPT. As you interact more and more with it, you start to understand there's like that those softwares are catering to your mindset. AI right now has a lot of data about you, and this is why they know exactly what to show you. They know exactly how to respond to you. The notes I have, there's like partial of it is from ChatGPT, because the thing is, I no longer can think about the words I want to use, and which is why I wanted to make this video. Before I get there, I just want to say this, I sound like crazy sometimes. It's like when I listen to myself, I sound crazy, because I believe that I am a person that's very curious about things, and I sometimes I sound like a madman, because I will find I'll find ways to make things coherent. These videos are going to have like random cuts. I know that I keep forgetting the videos are 10 minutes and sometimes there'll be a random bypasser. I shouldn't film them really. They're gonna walk past in the middle, can't stop them. So anyways, I believe I last stopped saying that I'm a madman, I'm crazy. And I am, you know. I don't mean in a way that I'm a maniac or something, but I'm a guy that's full of curiosity, and I will find meaning in random thoughts that I have. I'm type of person who's just gonna find like I'm gonna make coherent out of nothing. You know, I will have random thoughts, and for some reason I'll find like, oh, there's a reason why I'm learning this now, and it's gonna mean something to me, you know. And I always find things interesting out of whether it's from games or from news or from random stuff. I'm gonna learn a lot, and that's the guy who I am. Sometimes I pity my friends or, you know, my girlfriend now, where I constantly like just tell her random stuff that she probably doesn't care, but you know, she actively tried to listen to me, so I'm very grateful for that. You know, that's why I love her for it. that she's being very patient with someone like me. But this is my strength. You know, I believe that my curiosity or my energy is my strength that allows me to grow as a person. It's allowed me to fail so much in life. Probably share another time, but I fail so much in life because the thing is, I always thought that, oh, this is the right way of thinking. Oh, you know, that this was important. There's a lot of things I thought a lot. all the thoughts that I thought, I probably sacrificed all the things that I should have thought. And I want to say that these thoughts of mine, sorry, all of you guys probably have these thoughts as well at the back of your mind, which you're consciously doing when you're bored, when are the times where you should be doing when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're showering. You know, now it's probably filled by YouTube. It's just filled by this so-called background noises. I'm gonna always record. This is the reason why I want to record myself, because these are the thoughts I have in my mind. I don't want these thoughts to just get blown by the wind. It's going to be recorded. I'm going to watch it for myself. Maybe some of you guys will watch it. I don't care. But these thoughts of mine are precious to me, and I believe that it will shape me for who I am and in the future, and probably guide me for the better. It's crazy, because the reason why I even started this video, at least like this video, is because ChatGPT actually taught me the word cognitive semantics. Now, some of you guys probably know what it means, what semantic means, or the word subjective. I learned it a little bit too late. I'm like 27, and I didn't know what I mean. I see it a lot, but I always ignore it. But now I finally took the time to actually, like, you know, Google up what it means. And cognitive semantics is basically, I wrote it down so that I'm not talking out of my ass, which is language and meaning are shaped by human thoughts, perception, and experience, which is true, because the thing is, I always thought that we learn all the words, you know, objectively. They are from like Oxford Dictionary, or, you know, or by some teachers, right? Then I realized it's like, even though I know the definition, the way at the time that I learned those definitions, I probably never registered in my head, because the only time when I actually learn those words is when I'm emotionally riled up like I am now, and I'll probably find it'll probably mean different to me than whatever the dictionary says. And is that the correct way? I don't know, because the guy who made the words, or when they registered the word in the dictionary, probably thought of something else. You do not know what at that time when these words were made. Professionally, maybe they were done correctly, but I'm not professional. I learned it just now. So there's like, everyone is different. We all, hold on, I wrote it down here. Like, we live based on our subjective understanding of our world. You know, like, words and meanings are tied to the mental images, the personal experience, and the cultural and cultural understanding. Basically, our culture. I'm from Malaysia. I have traveled to UK and now live in Ireland. Well, I'm not the same. Well, none of us are the same. So why should I be always like trying to aim for the objective truth of the words when I myself is not objectively correct, you know? And these thoughts of ours are the thoughts that we have. Of course I'm going to find meaning out of this. It's like all those when I saw when I understood like these words, right? This is why I understand this. Like mentally, this is how we organize like abstract ideas, you know, in the back of our minds. That we're always gonna be. We need to stop filling up our thoughts with, you know, topics or whatever AI is telling us or whatever YouTube is telling us. You can have it once in a while. Sometimes you do need to fill it, but not all the time. Do not make it a habit. Seriously, do not make it a habit. I sound like crazy. I sound like crazy. That's because emotionally, this is how I feel. You know, just like I started to learn. Sometimes I don't speak objectively. Most of us, we live through our emotions, and that's what separates us from AI. AI will never catch up to this point. They will objectively know how we should think, but that's not how we work. That is not how we work. The way how we think is random. It's chaotic, you know. And throughout this chaos, we're going to find meaning out of it, and we're gonna make our life meaningful, you know. AI, I want to say AI is a guidance. The way how AI is a tool. It should be a tool that's supposed to help guide us. Like I said, it's supposed to mimic the way how we think. Therefore, we are going to lead our lives towards how we should behave, what AI thought that we would be, you know? AI probably thought that us humans are like these smart beings who know a lot, you know, because that's where its data came from, right? It has like data all around the world, and probably thought that we are like some high IQ and we know a lot of things about the world. But we're not. We are actually not. And AI is going to be our guidance. We are going to use that, or at least we should be seeing it as if, hold on. We should be seeing it as if this is what we should have been, you know? It's like, rather than me right now, I know I'm slurring as I'm speaking through these videos, and I'm going to keep it that way. Because this is who we are. This is how I am. I'm not perfect. I don't remember every single word. I need ChatGPT to tell me what those words mean, you know. But this video is original. This video is definitely original, because the thing is, I am not looking at the screen. I'm looking at these little notes that I wrote for myself. These 2 pages. That's it. This is all I have left. And probably where I'll end the video. I'll probably remake this video again, because I think that there's a lot to learn about this topic. And right now, this video is probably trash. You know, this video is probably terrible because, you know, my editing is ass. I can't. I'm not exactly a speaker. I'm still learning, and I probably want to make it better. When I have better editing, I'll make it better in the future. But that's the video I want to say for today. This is the framework, you know. I'm gonna make a lot of random videos, and that's just my channel. So yeah, bye.